Hello, good evening, everybody. Assalamu alaikum, Wakari, Nyunawat again, BOD, Pa Usman Cham, your host, having a program on this coronavirus. We were discussing about the myths, facts about this COVID-19 and looking at measures that have been taken by individuals in the Gambia and then looking at how serious we are as a nation in regards to this virus. With me today, I'll be having two guests, one from the Gambia and one from the USA. I will have Dr. Omar C, who is the former Minister for Health in the Gambia, to join me, and also one of our sisters in America, who is a public health official and an RN nurse, master's degree in public health, Sukai Silla, and well, a familiar face to many of us. Sukai, I will have you on board. Good evening, good day, Madam Silla. How are you? New online.
That's my mom. Hi, Paus.
Fine. So, mobile lang new because we're gonna be I don't think any Gambian can speak direct Wolof without Jahasen other language, which is very bad for us as a country. But we're gonna be up and down to because science is a civilization and we want to make the best out of this thing. So, Sukai mobile lang new one day at the people you have been seen on social media and you are also been broadcast on YouTube. So imagine over 50,000 people will be watching right now. So sekarang apa yang you askan?
Um, Assalamualaikum. Sukay sila. And we're here to sensitize the public. Hopefully, what we have to say will get through. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my next guest would be Dr. Omar C, but I don't think he's here. But Sukai, first of all, Funyo Dore Moy. Oh, I'm sure we have seen the Gambia, and also we've seen also the rate. Well, so far so good. Thank God, we are not aware of any new cases in the Gambia so far, and but the most concerning and worrying thing is our neighboring country, which is Senegal, and we know the link between the Gambia and Senegal. I don't think there can be any border closure. So people have been giving out these buckets. So okay, first of all, you are in the USA, and we have seen the drastic measures been taken by the government to address the situation. Dama buga ñu waxtaan ndax this virus ndax diga la ndax nekkul diga ndax wax rek la ndax nit moo bëgg a jóg rek ñëw ne I want to get fame, let me just get something going on ñu waxtaanee ko which is which.
I mean, from what we see, obviously degala. So people are dying from this every day, and we need to take it very seriously.
Well, but Gambia, I don't think they take it seriously. And even the WHO yesterday, they said young people are not taking this virus seriously. So what is happening in America?
Yeah, even we saw those young people on spring break acting a fool, I could say. But yeah, not everybody's taking it seriously, but they should. Now they're finding out that actually young people are affected. Most of the newly affected people are mostly young folks, especially here in Texas. I'm in Texas. So we have to take it seriously until it is proven otherwise. But so far, the people are dying from it, and a lot of people are dying from this. And it spreads very, very rapidly. So we need to do something.
And also, thank you. We've seen also that the Gambia government have issued a press release I think last week, but we are not receiving any or updates on a daily basis as far as the people are concerned. But are we expecting updates from our health experts on a daily basis as far as this virus is concerned, as we see happening in America and the UK and other countries in the world? Because that is not happening. So If that is not happening, what is the second option? What are the alternatives? Where can people find information about this virus? What can we believe and what can we not believe? The media, social WhatsApp groups, WHO, by word of mouth, by family members abroad in affected countries, or what?
Well, absolutely, the government should be updating the people because not everybody has access to internet or anything like that. So people should be updated, if not every day, every other day at least, so we can know what's going on and know how to prevent and not transmit. But if you want actual information, it's concrete and it's reliable, then you have to go. If you internet, they can go to the WHO website. Those are reliable, or the CDC.gov website. Those are the two entities that I know. They're doing the research right now. They're getting valid information, and then they're sharing it with everybody, especially sharing it with the public. So social media or everybody here in some uncle or whatever, like we need to let those things go because those are dangerous. Because some people might actually believe this thing, and the next thing you know, they're not going to take the necessary precautions to not spread this disease. I'm like, so we need to let go of all these hearsay. China, Japan. You just make sure that we get this information directly from the people that are actually doing the research, that are actually doing the work, which is WHO and CDC. If you want actual information, go to those two websites and find out what they know and what they're sharing about the COVID-19, and then learn from it. And maybe that you can share with your family members, but we can let go of the hearsay and all that stuff.
Thank you for now. People, I hope that people are paying great attention to these advices. Sukai is a public health officer, a graduate, a professional, and people like her should be in the front line to update people, and we need to listen to them. And then she talked about a very important point, which is the point of information. For now, when these things happens, people are panic. Kuneka mungewa, and many things are being revealed as ne wow so jange star bi doko am so defé li doko am so leke galek doko am, and what is the best method of prevention as far as this virus is concerned? Okay, you as a public health officer, I'm sure your work would have entailed going out to the public to address these things and any disease that has to spread to the public, i.e. viruses. So yang smart.
Idea.
Well, let's look at the best preventive methods that Gambians should do, because we are very concerned about Gambia right now. So, you as a public health official, what is the best preventive method towards this virus?
What the best preventive method is what the WHO and CDC have put us have said that we should do, which is number one is hand washing. And not just, I know people are rushing for hand sanitizers for some reason, but the hand sanitizers are supposed to be the last resort. If you don't have soap and water, then you can use a hand sanitizer. But use soap and water for 20 seconds. Make sure you scrub your hands between your fingers, underneath your nails. Sometimes we always forget to wash right here for some reason. And social distancing, like they've been saying, avoid crowds of more than 10 people if you can. And what else? You cover your cough into your elbow if if you have any coughs or whatever. And I do have some research up here, but you can also, if you have any symptoms like the fever, the coughing, difficulty breathing, then that's when you rush to the hospital. And when you're going to the hospital, if you have a mask, wear it, because you need to protect those people that are working in the hospitals as well, and the other people that are there. And make sure you let them know that this is what you suspect immediately. So if you don't have a mask, they can put one on you as soon as you get there and put you in isolation.
Well, thanks. So pretty much, okay, can we conclude here by saying that the hand sanitizer is not as how people think or take it as to be, to warrant people going to spend triple the price to buy them? In the absence of hand sanitizers, you could use water and soap to wash your hands. Is that the case?
Actually, in the absence of water and soap, then you can use hand sanitizer. water and soap is more effective than the hand sanitizer. The hand sanitizer is true, it will kill the germs or viruses in your hands, but then the virus is still on your hands. You still, after hand sanitizer, when you get home or when you do have access to water and soap, you still have to wash your hands with water and soap to get all that stuff off of your hands. So the first thing to do is that you use water and soap. If you don't have water, let's say I'm outside, I'm doing something else, then I can use the hand sanitizer. But then as soon as I get a chance, I should go back and wash my hands with water and soap.
So this will bring us to this point of having these buckets. Gambia tey right now, foog na ñëpp ñu ngi ini this thing, this bucket right now. People are gis nañ political parties and individuals ñu ngi donate ay douze pan. Xam naa tey pan moom sax la moom mooy loolu. Guys, sax like so tey moom pan foog naa génn Gambia. People are ñu ngi dina ay pan so yi nii ñu ngi ko teg at locations in the Gambia ñu ngi fa xaw ma lañu fa def. I'm hoping ne is water and something, not just water, and put the soap or any kind of chemical for people to wash. Let's say, for example, what effect or how effective are these things? These so you know dina diko may diko teg in within the country pour nit ñëw pour rahas. Is it countering the advices?
Understand what the whole siwo thing is it ne dañoo dugal seen loxo si biir siwo bi or like I don't understand because gisuma loolu.
Sure, what they're doing mooy dañ ko dee modify mu am a tap.
Okay.
Nga xam ne yow soo nga xam ne what you will do mooy you go to a sew like nga dem gis sew bi nga ubbi tap bi.
Okay.
Then nga ubbi nga raxasu and they put their soap. So you as a public health officer, what are the risks associated with having these things? And by the way, I'm not trying to downplay the efforts of people to get people clean.
Okay.
But I'm thinking cleanliness should be the first thing you do in the morning and in the evening anyway. So I'm not trying to downplay people, but what I'm saying right now, as far as this concern is concerned, what are the stakes and in terms of public health safety?
Well, so if I see what be I'm tap still on go, right? So
yes.
Well, one thing would be everybody touching the tap. That's another mode of transmission. But for those people that don't have access to the clean water and soap and stuff like that, I mean, that would be a good thing, I guess.
Yeah, but in terms of public health and the fact that we are trying to reduce social gathering, is this not one of those that would encourage social gathering? Hence, the next queue.
I'm hoping that people are not gathering up there. Then you and they leave. But for those people who have access to sabu, they don't need to go there. But then for those people who are out there, they don't have access to this. When just wash your hands with soap and water and then go about your business. I mean, that would be a good thing, I would think, because the alternative money, they're not washing their hands at all, and then they don't have access to it. So,
yeah, but then again, I will want to tell you here, as a public health official, let's look at the sustainability, and if you have to evaluate the success of these initiatives in the end, and we are saying people do not go out, stay home unless if you have to.
Right.
In a five member in a home of 5-6 people, you don't need all of you to go out and look for food.
No, you don't.
Yeah, and after the government has made the pronunciation, wow, facham filaneka. Wow. So my point is, I will make it very simple and clear. So I made these things there, should be. The downside of these things is, for example, if you have shoe at Westfield, you wash your hand from Westfield. Yange nibi bakote, for example. You're from there, you have to get a taxi after washing your hand at Westfield.
Okay.
So my point here is, why would you wash your hand then carry on with life?
So you rather they don't wash their hands?
Well, that's the bottom line, because of washing hands is when you enter into buildings and public places.
No, not just that. Even when you're outside, people can put their hands in their mouth for whatever reason. Maybe young lekadara or out of habit, or you're touching your face or you're doing whatever. So it's okay to wash your hands and then enter a taxi, go home. Hopefully the taxi doesn't have a lot of people, but you can go home and when you get home, wash your hands again. I don't understand your argument with that.
Uh, my argument here is you wash your hand
Okay,
from point A, you are going to point Z, right?
right.
And then after washing your hand, you get your hands in your pockets.
Okay.
Nga gine tendencies, nga fay taxi driver, nga
Mhm,
boka be at people
mhm.
from Westfield.
Right.
You go to Sarakunda, nga wacha ngene do mo am jini bena ko bulaka o do mo jina hama jaar marché fatina nangam.
Okay.
You get in there, you see somebody taka watan, nga jina li nga jina, you get another taxi again to go home.
Okay.
When you get home, you are with the assumption that you've washed your hand already.
No, when you get home, you should wash your hands again.
This is the point.
Okay.
For now, thank God, we are now beginning to agree on something.
No, your
Now,
young money, they shouldn't wash their hands in the first place. Hopefully, you'll disagree because yes, you can wash your hands, and then when you get home, you still need to wash your hands again, and
yeah,
not just
but
for those of your children, and then whoever you live with, encourage them to wash their hands. And
yeah,
your
but
sensitization about this COVID-19, you just coughed into your salah
yeah,
instead of your elbow.
but the thing we are talking about here is, if you are in your house, we want to maintain that high standard of hygiene.
Right.
But if you are out and about and for no reason, of course you want to wash your hand. Yeah, but what I'm saying that the argument here is right now, unless if we tell people this is the first stage of washing your hand, and when you get home, wash your hand, or if they have every point like Bertal, every 100 meter you have there, you have their area.
No, that's not realistic.
That's not realistic. But again, let's look at the tap. Yangi tear salaho, yangi ubi tab ingar hasu krenyo, yangi just south right now. And the bucket or the show itself could be contaminated. And again, we're talking about how much time do you have to wash your hands. But right now, here is a bucket out in the streets, in the open.
The bucket is sealed, I'm guessing, with the tap underneath, right?
The flat tab, the then computer modifier is very safe and secure. I think you can open.
Okay,
But
while women sit call is not just open, but how many people have access to it?
well, it's a plastic. You can only do up. And the least you could do my solo tape size right now. That I'm not sure I can tell, but by the looks what I saw, then could be right now. Somebody would not dare open the top. Anyway, I'm not expecting that. But what I'm saying right now, Moy, the tap itself, it could be contaminated. And we are saying for how long this virus can stay on the surface. And and also, Sundar Vijay right now, and how do we have, if we have people by them sites to monitor and maintain the hygiene of not only the people themselves, but also the buckets themselves. Would that make sense if that is done?
Okay, so the bucket is not ideal for Nyinga Hamne. They have access to ndoh and all of those things, or hand sanitizers. That's
Okay.
what I'm saying. But we were talking about Gambia, Finger Hamne, pump it up did for nyata hours because people don't have access to water, right?
Yeah.
So for those people who don't have access to water or to soap and stuff like that, it is helpful. So I'm not saying it's a something that's blanketing everyone, but for so ñi nga xam ne mënuñoo amuñ ndox access to ndox at that moment, or whatever, they can use it. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I can agree with you to some extent. To the extreme, if you don't have nowhere, like come apparently at Henya taxi driver you have they are living on the streets, by all means that would be useful to them. But again, so Gambia is not just Westfield and Banjul.
No.
And remember we have some villages in the provinces that
Right.
that will walk for 10 miles even to get water.
Right.
So what to those people, what is the best mode of prevention in as far as this thing is concerned?
To those people, it's the same thing. I mean, nothing has changed because you lived in the provinces or because you live in the city. I mean, they might have a lesser chance of getting it because they're more spaced out than we are because we're all crowded together. But then they should use soap and water. They should use practice social distancing as well, and coughing to their elbows and all the same stuff that we have to follow. They have to follow. And
Yeah,
the thing about this is like we don't have to think about this from just ñun suñ perspective. So this is a disease bi nga xam ne man mun na ma affect and then I can spread it to ñi nga xam ne musuma leen a xalaat sax ne naa leen meet just by meeting somebody kooku dem meet keneen and stuff like that. Xam nga loo mean? So we have to think about Gambia as a whole, as a nation, with the resources that we have and with we have very limited resources, obviously. Right now, Mary Pai ñoo vulnerable to this disease. Those are the ones mostly dying here and around the world. So ñun suñ Mary Pai lañ war a gën a protect nga xam ne man su ma xamee ne am naa any kind of signs and symptoms duma dem si suma mom or any kind of old people and then start just coughing or whatever and not take the precautions that I'm supposed to take. In Gambia, we don't have, okay, the most severe cases of COVID-19, you have to be on a vent because you cannot breathe for yourself. So in Gambia, we don't have those. I think there's like 3 or 4 vents in the entire country that are actually working. So you think, no, it's true. That's just the reality. So we have all these people, let's say 6 people, and then by the way, these vents are in private hospitals. So you can afford private hospitals. So let's say 6 people that actually need the vents. 2 of them, well, what are their chances? And so we have 4 vents. So we have to think about these things because this is people's lives we're talking about.
Yeah,
so
but
we have to stop being selfish.
Yeah, but by the looks of it at the moment, the only preventive method is geared towards the people who are just the middle age, between 25 to 35, because of given the scientific evidence ne si ñum gina graw moy the old age people, thank God man sa buguma nek old age. But in the Gambia, what is the solution or the preventive method for? I know it might be the same answer, but just to be very specific and people to hear what we are saying, those buckets are not targeting the people who are at old age, who are at risk.
What is it with you and these buckets? Now you find the buckets for a minute. The buckets can do what they do, right? The buckets are not the only way of preventing. They can help in certain situations. So there's no harm in using them. Right?
Okay, fine.
But then for people that are older,
yes,
you have to try as much as possible to not expose them, especially so I'm a pre-existing condition like diabetes or lung disease and stuff like that. People Gambia dafa bari ñu am diabetes.
For all I'm right now, ñu ko am te go ñu ngey dox dem na am na bucket xamara hasu and move on. It doesn't work like that.
The bucket is not causing the COVID-19.
It's not, but the previous user or the previous user or the user coming might not even know how. Remember, the Gambia is not doing tests. Like example, in Italy.
We don't have
Italy. Being like a guy, why do you have so much cases? They said because we are doing more tests.
Right, and they have a larger population of older people.
Yes, and well, Gambia may not have a larger population of older people, but we have a larger population of people with underlying complications in terms of health without knowing.
Right, that's why we have to take the precautions to prevent that from spreading.
Yes, and preventing from spreading, what is the best advice?
Right. I mean, that's what we have to do. Well, first of all, I saw on the internet about flights coming in and stuff like that. We need to that needs to be addressed because we can't just have flights coming in from hotspots where people are living with this disease and they have better access of care, and then Indico Gambia where we don't have that kind of care, and then Gambia the Fatuti, everything can just spread very rapidly. So we need to do something about the flights, number one, the borders, and then we can take these measures of social distances, washing our hands, and all of those things, because everything has to work together. Like whatever you have to do, like this part of the government or that part of the government ñëpp ñoo war a am pour def seen liggéey for everything to work,
Yeah.
in the country. But so fekkee ne kii dafa slack then kële mu ngee def one like it's not gonna work. It has to be a team effort.
This is why I would again comment. Kuneka Mungedef, and there is no one taking leadership of everything we are doing towards this prevention.
We have a Minister of Health.
Well, we have this Minister of Health, and I was expecting would it not be better if the Minister of Health just give a press release to coordinate? I know people have the heart to help. I know Gambia, New Society, we are very social. And one of the things that people don't more social gathering. We need to buy campegi, we need to buy talk nan get stuff. These are things, these are times that life would not be normal as it would be
yeah. I mean, I've been when my kids are home from school, they cannot go to school. I mean, I still have to go to work because I work in a hospital, but still, I don't know, like they cannot go to school just because of social gathering, because they cannot go and mingle with all these different kids and can hammer fanaki amnako then it can spread. And if they were to have it and bring it home, and I go to the hospital, I have patients, and then you spread because patients with them, their family, like it just the cycle just keeps going.
And
you have to be careful.
And for now, this is the point. Then we the Gambians have to understand, because mange, if you look at videos of the Gambia, see video right now, Gambia health. People are on their normal daily lives. You get them on. You see people going out, desensitize the people. Is that something that, as a public health officers in this current time, you would do?
I mean, we don't need too many people out there trying to sensitize the people, but there can be some, because not everybody has access to the internet. Like I said, if not everybody has access to radio or television, guess what they're supposed to do. And there are people out there who have to go out for livelihood. So you can still go, maybe like they can choose few people, and they spread out them, educate people around the country. That is very, very necessary. But then we shouldn't have everyone trying to go, okay, man, them definitely, then it defeats the purpose.
And that will bring me back to Lima Ohon for the head ministry to coordinate the efforts of the people, and hence I put up this
but are these people working for the ministry, or they just decide to do certain things themselves? But if they're working for the ministry, I'm thinking they will be coordinated.
I think this is the point here. We have to draw a line. They are charities or individuals who choose to go and do this voluntary work. Yes, it's to save humanity. But what I'm saying here right now, we are dealing with a virus that we know nothing about at the moment, and it's a global pandemic right now. Should we allow people to take it upon themselves to come out and just do the usual thing we used to do, helping people?
I mean, helping people is always great, but I feel now with charities and stuff, if in this case, they should coordinate with the government or with the Ministry of Health, so that, things can be done the right way. We can all have the right information, and then we can send out the same information, which is the right ones, to the people, rather than Kuneka has their own agenda. There's nothing wrong with charity work. It's amazing, and we should encourage people to do so. But in this case, where we're talking about a virus that can spread very rapidly in a country where we don't have standard of care at all, so we should coordinate with the Ministry of Health, and then they can, we tell them, okay, this is what we want to do. These are the facts that we have from, the research that is being done. And then we want to go to this part of the country. Then, okay, the other people can go to that part of the country and then spread the message. I mean, that would be ideal to do, rather than connect them just do your own thing.
Now we are beginning to agree. So to a point whereby you agree what I'm saying, because I'm sure the government would not and will not tell people to go and buy buckets and put it on. And it's pretty much this bucket thing.
I can suggest to the government, Nilan, okay, I want to put a bucket of, just clean water and soap by Westfield, so that people, you say you joggers in Marseille or whatever, they can come wash their hands before they get home, and then when they get home, they can wash their hands again. Now, when you have that coordination where you can tell people, okay, when you tell the government this is what I want to do, it has to be discussed, and we can find out what are the pros and the cons. Is it helpful? Is it not? Before you put it out there,
Yes.
and then they can put it out there. But I mean, argue regularly for no
No,
reason.
no, look like my a point of agreement. Ne.
No, they should. I think that there needs to be some form of coordination. We cannot just connect them def lumbuga def.
Haraba man, like, right now with this Facebook age, right now, Kuneka, I will mention it. UDP, Bena MP UDP, Monica donate, MP, a lawmaker, and I was look, I was expecting you to enact a legislation that will put people indoors by force, like what other countries are doing.
We have those in place. What's wrong with the MP donating?
No, because and come on, now it's not the time to give and to say I'm giving right now.
So I think this is the time where, as a nation, we put aside our political differences.
This is the thing.
Our different tribes and all of that nonsense that we always stick to hard being is not even important. Put everything aside and know that this virus right now, Suduga says and it spreads, a lot of people are going to die. That's just the fact, because we don't have the resources to take care of the people. So because of that, it doesn't matter who it is, the virus is not discriminating. Affect any one of us. We have to take the precautions together, whether UDP and the GDP, whoever you are, just put everything together, put all your political stuff aside, come together as human beings and as Gambians, and then, find solutions that have been proven to work.
And again, I'll come to the same point of people should adhere to the advice given. Remember, the president has given. But if we have to look at the theory of doing more tests, getting more positive results, and not doing it, not having anything, and you stand to claim I don't have any. If we want to apply that theory in the Gambia, then what is the likelihood we have or we do not have?
Why would we even apply that theory? So not knowing is better than knowing. That's what you're saying. So when you don't know, then you are likely to spread it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's better to know and then take precautions and take actions to solve the problem, rather than then.
And that's why I'm saying to know we have to do, or we have to focus on doing more tests to get more answers and accurate answers. Is that because that is a theory that has been proven to work? Because
we have to do more tests, but then right now the tests are like scarce, even here in America. A lot of people cannot get tested because test be body. So unless you're showing signs and symptoms of the disease, or let's say you're a healthcare worker or something like that, that's when they will test you, not just because they might just, let me just drive through because I want to get tested. They're not doing that. So obviously, enough, obviously Gambia tam amuin, enough, obviously. So we have to look out for ourselves in the sense when it comes to by hell, what signs and symptoms you are, presenting, and then you take it from there. So if it's just the regular common cold, or let's say these symptoms, you can manage it at home by distancing yourself from your family. You have to quarantine yourself. You have to drink a lot of fluids, and to ambient temperature, you can take some, Tylenol or Advil to bring the temperature down. Unless it gets to the point it's getting more serious, you cannot control it, then you can go to the hospital. Hopefully they can manage it in Gambia. But to just I'm being assigned the but that's not going to help anyone either.
Why so I'm going. I'm not
supposed to do. Right now, you're trying to sensitize people. If you go to the hospital, there are people who are sick. So these people are already, their immune system is already down. So you also them and you start coughing or do whatever, you can spread this disease to those people who are already sick and actually need to be in the hospital. You can spread it to the doctors and the nurses and the other healthcare workers that are there, who actually need to stay healthy so they can take care of the sick. So if it's a mild symptom, because a lot of people are having just mild symptoms, you quarantine yourself for 14 days. drink lots of fluids, and monitor the situation. So you don't just run to the hospital because you're get cough and because Paus the Faragal put there. So
Well, thank you, and also I hope you Diglu this slide here I think it tells a lot why there is so much panic, and this answer is thanks to social media. So I'm sure as a public health official you might wanna also consider part of your job look or derail more the social media and people telling people differently. And mine is being a video league right now, people are making fun of this disease. People are saying fun of this nan li du li la so na li dinga am ama dema kër faatu ñu ngi podcast bena gamo demba Sénégal dañ gëna ñu ngi protest despite the fact ne an order has been given. Look, stay home, these are not times when people can go out. So you as a public as a professional, would you go on the route of scientific based approach and advices to deal with this thing, or combine both? Or what would you give out to the government people? Let's stick to the
scientific stuff. I mean, what? Come on. See, right now in Texas, people cannot go to for Juma prayers. They cannot go to church. They cannot have all these public gatherings where, and then this is not something that the law just enforced. This is something that they discussed with the religious leaders and whatever, and they all agreed. In order to save humanity, in order to save more people, you have to sacrifice certain things. Now, just because them were Juma doesn't make me any less of a Muslim, or because them were church doesn't make you any less of a Christian, right? So we have to understand that, okay, these are trying times. Okay, we're gonna have some agama or we're gonna have whatever. So that can happen, but you have to wait till all of this stuff is over and then postpone it till then and then do it. So we have to be considerate of other people. That's the problem. Because so now I'm thinking I'm forcing it. I'm gamma by force with my religion. I mean, how helpful is that? Small religion is teach to save humanity. So you're contradicting yourself right there.
I think that is very important. We will come to that in regards to the law and Demba Mangigis even if Maka, the Juma of the Prophet, can be shut down. Still now Dema Ajuma Gisna Juma you go on in Gambia. And what is that telling you as a medical profession? What is your how do you look at these people and assess our vulnerability of having these things spread faster than we expected compared to
it's sad that they would actually do that. But I'm like certain people, you cannot force them, you cannot change their minds. Some people are just stuck in their way. So I mean, everybody has to do their part and just pray for the best, basically. But I mean, come on.
But Sukai, we cannot force people. But in these times, this is more or less like a state of emergency where the law is meant.
This was the law that came down from the government where they said, okay, nobody's allowed to go to the masjid, or to go to a church or whatever. Then those rules can be enforced. But if the rule does not come down, the law doesn't come down from the government. I mean, what are you supposed to do?
What the government have, all governments in the world have said it. Stay home. Huh?
Gambia, of course.
Yes, Gambia, they have when we were at the back of the president, he gave a statement and when he ordered the schools to close for 21 days and people are complaining and better people are going out, and surprisingly I saw people in their light numbers going out in trucks, and I've seen political leaders how to wash their hands in Sarakunda and in Banjul, they go out and people, others are following. And most importantly, most surprisingly, some other people are making fundraising, to buy kit and to create test centers and to buy disinfectants. And what are the chances of the Gambia having these things now?
Of having what kits? What kind of kits? Like testing kits?
Testing kit, one of the funders has said buying testing kit and center for isolation and testing centers and Dettol's. What is the advice from the public health perspective in buying Dettol's, using bleach, and
bleach would disinfect, obviously, and then it can protect from the virus. So if you need to wipe down your house, you can use bleach with some water, like 3 part water, 1 part bleach, and then clean your surfaces and stuff like that, and the doorknobs and stuff like that. Why I don't know what the rest of it.
So listener, these are the things that we need to tell the people what the measurements and the amount that you can use with the bleach. Because man, how on lini now you are telling me the measurement to use with bleach that will use it to because man lima have like more seven nobody 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 like man how I use it. So uh, so these are the informations that we need, and hence Binika Malaya the coordination aspect of it. Public health officers come out, tell these
The
people, yes,
coordination aspect of it cannot be from me, obviously, or you.
government.
Yeah, yes, it has to come from the government.
Well,
And then the people that are
how
actually going out and doing these things, they need to coordinate with the government, whether you like them or not, whether you're affiliated with them or not. Put of everything aside. This is for the betterment of Gambia, and then just coordinate with the government and go to certain areas that are hit hard or certain areas in the vulnerable population, and just give the accurate information. You can go online and print out the accurate information. I don't have to tell you. So
well, unfortunately, the government is different. People will not have internet to
no,
listen
that's what
to
I'm
BBC.
saying. So the people that are going out to give this information can have these printouts because obviously government offices has internet. They have access to these websites. They can print all these facts out, and when you go out there, you give those information, the factual stuff, not you know.
So then, for now, you have they involved in this sensitization. Please, before you go out, print out these leaflets, get them, and tell people alternatives of how to prevent themselves and how to keep themselves clean. Because of right now, neon jai this hand gel which was costing 75, now it's costing $300 right now. Hagali,
That's the sad part about it. I don't know, not just Gambia, but everywhere. Most people, in a situation will get happen, and instead of giving the prices where people can afford to buy these things, we decide to hike it up. Then how many you cannot afford it, and then making it difficult. But at least it will actually come back to you because if I can afford putting a hand sanitizer, and then I come to your store, I have the COVID-19, I'm going to spread it to you. Yeah, I get the price when do whatever. So we have to think about the bigger picture and not just swing bottom line or swing pockets here and stuff like that. And
Okay, thank you. Guy John Deklu Manlafi Pa from the UK, and we have Sukai Silla, public health officer, well, master's degree in public health, and RN nurse in Texas. So li ñoo wax ni it's not about just talking. There's somebody with a professional point of view we want to know, and it's unfortunate that we could not have Omar Sy, the former health minister of the Gambia, because of I wonder when people isolate in the Gambia, what are they going to do when you don't have good internet connection? So you can see the problem. I think our internet is only good when you want to come on Facebook, the Saga Ndey Jamur or Papi Jamur or the Saga Yaya Jame Obaro. That's when our internet is good. So I hope people will make best use of the time they spend at home. So so I do not take too long. What is your final do's and don'ts to the Gambian people? Because I am talking to the Gambian people, and they are the ones that need this information more than I do. Well, in fact, we all do. But at least, man, I am fortunate and you to have access to all these things at our doorsteps. But in the Gambia, that is not the case. So we want to hear what are your final words, the final words on the do's and on the don'ts.
okay, so the do's is social isolation, preventing social gatherings of more than 10 people, not going out if you don't have to, washing our hands, of course, with soap and water. And if we don't have that, we can use the hand sanitizer. Um, Paying attention to our signs and our symptoms, making sure that if we're exhibiting any signs and it's mild, we can stay home and isolate ourselves and not just run to the hospital. But if we do have some kind of respiratory difficulties or, um, you know, you can see the signs that okay, I'm not getting enough oxygen, you're breathing harder than you're supposed to, then you can go to the hospital, but with precaution as well, making sure you inform them as soon as you get there and all these symptoms and you suspect COVID-19. The don'ts. Oh, and one more do, one more do let's be considerate of everybody else. It's not just about one person or one entity or one tribe or one group or one political whatever. What have you done?
No, you go on.
Oh, okay. And
The dons
the
or where
don't
use it.
do's is coordinate with the government. Don't is stop the whole. Okay, don't be spreading all this information. Bingahamed could just dig from key or could dig from fele. If it's not accurate factual information, we joge see the experts. Let's not do the whole so nyane sura be clearly. So don't sura sa. I mean, there's information in there. Munga nyansa sura, but that's not the only thing that you do. You combine that with washing your hands and social isolation and quarantining yourself and all of this extra stuff. So we have to be careful. We have to know that it's not about just us. We should be protecting our older population because we don't have the resources to cure them if something was to happen. We can try as a nation to get more testing available for everyone who is exhibiting symptoms and who needs to be tested. And you let the doctors and the healthcare workers actually do their jobs. So that's about it for me.
Thank you for na li nga wax ni munta gina clear than this is scientific and is definitely the best advice one could give to a country like the Gambia. And then what more do we want except for if I could be having you every week, then I'm going to get you on board. And Lee is not to well of course I will compliment and I think the Gambia needs to get on board young people like you in the system jàng ngeen and xam ngeen li ngeen def and you still have a long way to go and is it truth we need young people who are experienced freshly graduated from the system and to get on and support the government because right now women the government media incompetent but how what they are doing because you say you close an airspace and you haven't provided any kind of quarantine area at the airport. These are all things nga xamne they are attention to detail that ñi jàngoon 40 years ago they can implement those things. So I
quarantine people at the airport.
Yeah, I think for now there were efforts to in fact quarantine people there to
put everybody in one room and then unless you have a room for each person.
This is for now it's very important. We bring that up right now. The quarantine method in Gambia. I don't think well I had this rumor circulating this audio. A guy saying Findual guy how much the bond how much is a leftover plus million yobu and the airport itself from imagine from pickup point. Well, if they could be in the same aircraft, of course they could be in the same bus to the point, and they might want to be in the same room because they've been on the same flight for 7 hours or 6 hours.
No, you don't have to be in the same room because you've been in the same flight.
Well,
in the same room, you're still much closer to each other than the flight. And then, come on, that's defeating the whole purpose. You're putting everybody together instead of isolating individuals.
Well, there we go. This is a wrong error or a mistake or an oversight that is not been talked about. And I hope that if any government officer or Gambia health care officer is listening or watching, you might want to consider what happened at the airport because Fufu, I think, is a crisis.
So what happened at the airport? Was it the flight
flight in fact UK I think it's from Birmingham. So and in fact I saw another video where a flight land from Holland. So it's only right now the only two countries that are trouble to the Gambia is the UK and Holland. And I think is it the Netherlands? These are the only countries right now trying to make trouble and attempt to get into the airspace. So how
being allowed?
How much? That's the thing. How much effective is the Gambia in closing the airspace? But again, remember, Gambia is a small economy. We depend on these things.
Yeah, but then we depend for what though? At what cost?
Well, this also
stop the flights for 14 days.
Well, if people in the Gambia don't care going on their normal business in the Gambia, then of course that should make the government to say, look, I'm not going to take risk of opening any border in the Gambia because remember we are border with Senegal all the way around. The 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, everywhere is border with Senegal. So and Senegal having 50, more than 50 cases so far.
Mhm.
It's not an ideal idea to open the border with them. But again, let's talk about food. What Gambia is having. What can if we close that thing, if we close our borders, lan la Gambia di produce loo xam ne mënuñ
But
koo lekka.
when you close the borders, you're not gonna shut it down for how long? You can shut it down for travel. You know no travel for whatever reason. But
Ah,
trucks or whatever container you in the liquor, those things can come in
well,
with disinfect
again,
before it is distributed into the country. So come on, there's strategies that can be used to still prevent these things from happening and hang on a minute, but then at the same time you are providing for your people. Like we can have the food, we can have the hand sanitizer, soap, everything that we need, but at the same time, I mean, in the UK is the hotspot. People cannot. I cannot get up here and go to the UK right now, and I'm in Texas. Like so, basically, we need to be more vigilant. We need to be more realistic. Because at the same, so if I can halis like the and then at the end of the day, ban population nga use halis go before, and who are you going to be leading? If your population, everybody is sick, people are dying, they cannot even, be productive in their own country. So come on, we have to.
there's a message coming up now. The last flight, my Gamma experience, we're quarantined tonight at a hotel. So and this is barely days after when they said we close our airspace, and not close our airspace. In fact, some flights were suspended from specific countries. Which was a good measure, but the
Which
challenge would be
sorry, huh?
the challenge would be to what extent have they suspended these did this is this measure going to be executed, and yes, these flights are coming from the UK right now. They are fearing that it's going to be an epicenter. It might be, and the isolation order in the UK is going to last for 12 months. It's just been said on the news today. So you don't want to have a flight from the UK regardless of who they call. Well, even if they're coming, they should only come and pick up their citizens, but not to bring in passengers from the UK. And that's
No,
what
and
happened.
they shouldn't do that because doing nango can deflow in their own country.
Well, there we
So
go.
we shouldn't.
This also should be a cause of concern for people who are doing the fight on the ground. That in as much as we are risking our life to go out and talk to people, you too, as a government, you have a duty of care
That's where the coordination comes from. That's why we
exactly.
have to coordinate with the
What-
government, whether we want to or not. Because why would I go out there and be sensitizing people, but then there's possibly infected people coming into the country?
This is the point,
So
and
it makes no sense.
this is where I will advise Wakati at Nidafkati at all the social media, instead of raising funds, let them challenge government to say, look, FSC is a two-way thing. Danga jape fini, ni jape fini, we can succeed.
Yeah.
This is a pandemic that this is a virus that is can hamagut we don't even know for how long. In the UK and in America, I guess nasa check na.
Shayla. Check.
We be taken care of. Man tey jii dema dee maa ngi
Oh, okay. Checking government. Okay, go
ah
ahead.
yes
No,
you
no,
know
I heard they talked about it on TV. Obviously, they can check on you good with America, but
oyo amago
that you're working for. Talk about who they have check your mom.
ñun UK regardless we be taken care of.
No,
Exactly. I
Europe
could
and America, two different places.
yes, and tell you what I could do more. Many people are doing many bad things. You could stop your bill because right now I don't expect my telecoms company to shut down my internet because failure. But for me being a bad person, I can say one be that my bill because of London corona.
Well, I mean, obviously, but then some people wouldn't. I mean, let's say Fini in America, like gas companies or electric companies, one they would, and even mortgage, they'll say, okay, this
3 months.
this purpose or whatever, they're not going to no interest rate or munga skip payment or whatever. So those are all helpful tips. But
Yes.
we don't have those kind of problems in Gambia.
Gambia, that's the thing.
Gambia, when you unit check to everybody, we don't.
Well,
But what they can do as a government, I would give this advice. Hopefully they'll listen.
Mhm.
They need to put a price cap on things. And this is not just for COVID-19. I'm hoping that this is something that's just going to continue. A crisis do and then major sakumalo need that kind of money. How will people survive?
Well,
Inhumane.
It's going to be a very tough situation in the Gambia because of there will be an economic pandemic to follow after. This will no doubt affect the Gambia and on or other developing countries.
All countries, yeah.
Yes, and also the fact that the record banging new atomit is another threat. Life will be very hard, living will be very hard. But I hope the Gambia government, the money that I think they have, I saw in the news that the EU have pledged 232 million euros. But I don't believe in that because EU already are struggling.
Oh, after COVID, because right now I think everybody's worried about themselves. So
Exactly.
you talk the yakar like EU billing your job or job, but we can actually put certain things in place when everybody is protected. So all these hikes and stuff like that needs to stop. You just hands $50 thing and you go 300. That's just horrible.
It's happening.
I know. That's why I said the government needs to put a stop to it.
It's so shameful that it's happening, and it's been done by Muslims who claim to be Hamna Yala. And Sukai, this is the video at the airport. If you don't mind, Sukai, for now, we just said, what was your last words? But I think we are going to.
The last words, and I have to go to work actually.
Kulanak. Look at this.
Come out! Hey, come out! You guys are wrong for this. Come out! Yeah, come out! You all come out!
Right?
Okay, Lolo, understand, but why are they all the way outside first, and then what are they trying to do for them outside?
They don't refuse being quarantined.
Why are you trying to quarantine after we run the immigration and everything, and they're already outside?
Well, this where again I said people like you, because of the quarantine should start from their footstep of the aircraft, and their luggage be taken afterwards to them. But again, the Gambia because airport right now I'm going to it. So the coming in is not as before. So I'm sure that could be a problem that they are facing.
Your stamps the passport Gambia.
Exactly, this is the point.
Those things, well, you do go up be just in bagage begin a bit white, but
that is a thing.
It's supposed to be done from the inside. If you cannot participate, then you can get back in the aircraft and go back.
Thank you. This is what I was said. Because of most of them, if you don't have a Gambian passport and you speak Wolof in Gambia, airport, the Gambian government have the right to deport you back to where you came from. Because you can claim your Gambian hood by virtue of being a laka, but paper-wise, you land with a foreign passport. You either adhere to the rules of the airport or you go back to the same aircraft. And this was where the GIA chief should hold the aircraft responsible. They are the passengers, I don't care. They have to adhere to our rules.
The airline or the airplane, whatever, responsible. But then our own government failed because they did not put procedures or stuff in place to actually stop this from happening. I mean, people believe that when they land in Gambia, people can actually go into the country. That's why they flew all the way. I mean, can we just waste Hangalomin?
Yep.
Fuel and all of that stuff, as expensive as it is, you fly all the way to Gambia thinking, oh, maybe they didn't buy it. So we should have had stuff in place to make sure it doesn't happen, and we need to make sure it doesn't happen again.
I hope they have learned from this mistake because it's the first time for you get experience with me and Gambia for always first thing get it wrong and second time maybe they get it right if they implore the advice of experts and competent people like yourself. Is that right or wrong? Yo, that's the Minister of Health.
Full volunteer, but not anytime soon.
We need you at the Department of Health.
I was in Gambia for a year.
No, but this time you are going. We are going. But if you feel about that, bul xam nga rek xam nga rek dama xamal noppi rek.
I'm
Stay
sure.
stay no, just stay safe rek.
Okay.
Wow. But on that note, thank you very much suma rakabu rafet bi.
First of all, some makla.
But it's been a pleasure having you on a short notice, even though we started late. But thank you very much. And jërëjëf si ñëw bi te I would love to see you more at least every month. Once we have this civic education program, it would help. I hope when the proper isolation kicks in the Gambia, when people are at homes, or now they need something to keep them going. And then one of these programs will intensify the efforts of those in the Gambia rather than going round so have time where you ay bucket ice you nan raxasu len jiwo ni nanele.
You will be getting the language. Okay.
But thanks very much and it's been a pleasure and good night. Yeah, da nga ligay ni ndax?
Yeah. But thanks for having me. I work night shift, so yeah, I'm back.
Okay, kon you stay safe ngam yang si healthcare bi.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bu gën la amat fi again.
And then when you give information, make sure you go to the correct factual websites and give those information. And put
And
the political differences aside and stop worrying about this bucket.
jërëjëf.
All right. Thank you.
Kon listeners, jërë ngeen jëf. This was VOD, part of the COVID-19 sensitization and fight in the Gambia. We can do much, but I think this is one of the best things we could do as a media house to sensitize the people and bring you health personnel who are in the field and with the expert knowledge to send in the information. We will try to be here to have such program once every month. And I wanted to bring Ifinyasi from GDHI because they too have been giving out PPEs across the nation, from Banjul to Birkama. So I don't know if he is around or any of their board members. I saw you and I sent you the code on your Facebook Messenger, but it's not indicating that you have received or seen the message. But either way, I will leave it here. 1 hour is enough. Until next week, Dr. Omar C. I hope we will have to reschedule because it will be very nice to have you and to tell us what is available at the Ministry of Health and what is their readiness level, at what state are they. And also we're talking about next week we're going to have a same program. We'll be talking about the fundraisers that are going around. Mr. Doctor, can you try again? If not, we will reschedule at a time when we have correct internet. And yes, these were the obstacles that we are having, and I'm sure one of the Gambia, if you are in the Gambia, you will also agree with me. Internet B would be a big obstacle to the fight because everybody else depends on the internet today, and it's the fastest and the quickest way to send in information. So, but if it's not very good, then we will be struggling. Bubaha baha baha, put the message. But thank you, those who are on the ground doing the good work. Keep yourself safe. And remember, part of the job, the first priority is to keep yourself safe first before others. And that's the golden rule in first aid, yourself and your environment and the people you are treating or cared for. So I'm gonna stop here today, and I must see. We will have to see if Omar, do you want to try again, or do you want us to start or to reschedule the program again next week when I have GDHI to tell us the good work that they have been doing, PPEs, and I implore all charities to do the same, and those who are out there raising funds. You cannot buy testing kits, and you may not have the license to buy many of these things. I would suggest we have a coordinated effort. Everybody else together, we raise the funds together, give it to one charity that will have the license to buy these things. And the only charity I know is GDHI. They are licensed in the USA to buy medical equipment. So please, let's support them to have more of these things. it's for the better of mankind and the Gambia as a whole. So let's raise the fund and support GDHI their initiatives to buy these PPEs and the testing kits, or even if we can buy these thermometer, these temperature readers. There are ones that is a scanner, just scan the brain, scan the forehead, and you get a reading. So let us support GDHI. They are licensed and they are as big as you might imagine. Let them buy the kits and send them to Gambia. They would not, well, come out, was not many people know them, but I think few of you guys in those fundraising knows what GDHI is all about and what they can do and cannot do. So please help them get as much money as possible to buy these these testing kits rather, send them to Gambia. This virus is real and it's happening, and it has cost lives in Europe and America, and it will, God forbid, but let's not say it will not come, because it's a pandemic. No country is an exception to these things. So let's treat it as a life and death situation. Let's keep it real and let's be very safe and very mindful. I hope if it comes, it's going to be at a very low level, simply because we're applying those advisory measures. On that note, good night. Thank you very much. Share the video, spread the message. Do not listen to those comedic explanation about the virus. Do not be panic, but just take good care of yourself and others and your surroundings. Thank you very much.